So today we will start with the objects. We completed the functions, though few things in the functions are pending, and those are little advanced things which I will take in other classes in the future. So let's start with the objects. So to understand the object, let's see first what we did with the array. So for the array, we created array like this, and like red, orange, blue, green. Like this, we created the array. Oh, sorry. Screen is not shared. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Now, can you see my screen? Can you see the screen? Okay. So I was in the impression. That I started it. Sorry about that. Okay. So array, we created the array like red, orange, blue, green. Like this, we create array. And the array has key of 0 for this, and key of 1 for this, key of 2 for this, and key of 3 for this. So array always start with numeric index, and it has start from 0 and it goes further the size of the array. So if I print the array, I am getting red, orange, blue, green. If I want to access the red, how I will do? I will say array of 0. So I will get red. So how I will access the orange? I will access the orange. When I say array of 1, I can access the orange. How will I access the blue? I will say array of 2, and I can access the 2 because it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, like this, starts in this way. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so this is how we travel the array. So we can also write a for loop to go through all the elements of the array, and we have already seen that how to write the for loop, and we go through each element. Now, if we want to create objects are similar to array, but object has another capability that we can create the key. Here key is 0, 1, 2, 3. So our index is 0, 1, 2, 3. I can say it's a key kind of thing. Means I can access with the key like 0, 1, and 2. But objects have a special property that in addition to 0, 1, 2, 3, we can create custom based keys. So I will not, here I know that I cannot define my key. I cannot say X equal to red or Y equal to orange. Always 0 is with the red, 1 is with orange. That means the numeric key is assigned in the array. But with the objects, if I create object, it starts with a curly bracket, though array will start with the rectangular bracket. And if I want to go with object, it is start with the curly bracket. And here we define our own keys, like I can put name, Jack. I can say color, red. I can say last name. I can say Bauer, something like that. So what I'm doing, I'm creating keys myself. Whereas in the array, it is created programmatically with the 0, 1, 2, 3, and it goes from 0 and it increases. But here there is no increment kind of thing. It always has the key which I define it. This key is I define it. Whatever I want, I can create this key, and the value whichever I want to put, I can put the value in the object. So let's see what we have seen in this object. Okay, something is problem. Okay, so there is a semicolon here which is wrong. Let's create the object again. So I have to give the key, then colon, and the name. Okay, like this. So here the name of object is obj. right? What is this name? I give the name of object obj. Instead of rectangular bracket, which we use in array, here we are using curly bracket, like curly bracket this and curly bracket. Each element, you can say element or property, whatever you want to say, each property or element is separated with a comma. In array also we separate it with a comma. So that is the similar in the array. And here we have the key value pair, whereas array is created only the value and key is automatically assigned by the JavaScript as 0, 1, 2. And here key is defined by me. I can define the key whatever I want. So if you see the key I created here, this key is without the quotation mark. But if I create with quotation mark, then also it is fine. So I can create object like this, or I can create object like, I can put single quote here, or I can put double quote also if I want. Single quote or double quote. If you are from the Java, they always use double quote. But in JavaScript, you can either put single quote or double quote. But while creating the object, the key can be with single quote, with double quote, and without any quote. So I can use any of these three methods to define the key. But the value should be in, if it is a string, it should be a single or double quote. I cannot say like this. I cannot say jack unless jack is some variable. So I cannot put without quotation. I need some quotation because this is a string. So I need some quotation like this. So if I see the object, when I see the object, it is same. It removes all the quotation and I can see without quotation. Now to access this object, I can use dot notation. So for example, I will say object dot name. So when I say object dot name, I am getting this jack. Whereas in array, I could have used like this array of 0 in the rectangular bracket. You remember, I cannot use array dot 0. This will not work. So I'm getting some error. So object can be accessed with the dot notation. So I can say object dot name or object dot color. I can access the object. So whenever I create the object, I can access with the key, and the key can come after the dot notation. But this is not only the way I can access the object properties. I can access the object by object with single quote of color. I can call like this also, as in array. Okay, so I can say object of color, so it goes to the color and it gives me the red. I can also say object double quote of name, for example. So either I can put single quote, I can put double quote, or I can say dot name. Now question to you. Okay, see properly what is the question. Can I say, so when I create the object, I can access like this, object dot name or object dot color, or what is the next one, object dot last name. Object dot last name. I can also access the object like single quotation of color or object of single quotation of name or object of single or double quotation of last name. Depend on me, whatever I want, I prefer it. I generally prefer single quotation, but some developers prefer double quotation, so they use the double quotation. So depending on your choice, you can put single quotation or double quotation. Now, is it possible to access like object dot name like this or object dot color like this? Is it possible to access without the quotation in the rectangular bracket? Yes or no? Ole is saying no. Anand is saying yes. Ali is saying yes. Yes is saying yes. What about others? I want answer from everyone. I'm not talking about dynamic key right now. I'm just saying to access the name, which I was able to access this name like this, can I access with this? Sonu is saying no. How is saying yes? Okay. So the answer is no. So if I try to access this object of name, I'm getting undefined or error will come something maybe, but it is not possible. So if I use object dot name like this, I can get jack. But if I use object dot name, I'm getting undefined. Now who will tell me? You can unmute it or you can chat, type why I'm getting undefined for this. Or it may give error also if name is not there. Maybe some time ago I might have created name. That's the reason I'm getting this here undefined. So, but why this is not working whereas this is working? Can anyone tell me why this is working but this is not working? So this is not working. Why? And this is working. Okay. So why this is not working? The question is this. Whereas if I use object dot name, it is working because object keys are not var. Okay, I don't understand what exactly it means, but I think you are on the right track. Because when I say object of name, when I say this object of name like this, JavaScript thinks that this name is some variable. JavaScript thinks that this name is some variable like name equal to some string or something. So I think in array call and enter array become not working. Okay. So I'm not sure what Ali want to mean. This is object. We're not talking about array right now. Okay. So if I have variable something created before it and I put object dot name, so this name is nothing but whatever variable name I created. For example, I created xxxx. So when I call object name without any quotation or double quotation, it means actually I mean to pass this value because name is a variable and it has the value of this one. So JavaScript understand it like this, that this name is nothing but this value. So it consider whatever variable I have created, it takes that value and put it here. So for example, if I create this name as name, same thing, name as name, and then I call object dot name. So what it will do? JavaScript will take this name and put it here, and it will call me Jack. Now, if I put also this name, in reality, what is passing? In reality, I am passing this one. So it will show me Jack. Because when I put this is looks like a variable name. It's not the hard-coded value of name. It's a variable which I assign to some string. So I put this name, and then what happened when I put this variable name? Actually, this value is going. So when I put name, this means actually this is going in the behind the scene. Behind the scene, it goes like this. And we know this has the value of Jack. Now tell me, if I change this name equal to color, and I call object dot name, object rectangular bracket name, what will be the output here? Tell me the output for this one. This is my object. Ola is saying grade. Sonu Singh is saying undefined. Nikhil is saying grade. Yes is saying grade. Okay, everybody is saying grade, but Sonu Singh is saying undefined. I want to know why undefined. Sonu Singh, why undefined? Either unmute it, explain me, or write it, explain me, whatever you prefer. Because everybody is saying grade, you are saying undefined. Why undefined? Okay. So what happened in this case? In this case, because name is in array. Name is in array. Okay. This is an object. We are not talking about array now. So we are not in array right now. We are in the only object mode. Though it is rectangular bracket, does not mean it is an array. All objects can be accessed with rectangular bracket also, like I have accessed like this. So when I put name equal to color, it exactly JavaScript interprets like this. So it converts this variable into string, that is this color, and it goes like this. So JavaScript internally uses this because name is nothing but the color, and object of color is red, so it will come red, like this red. I'm getting red because name is color. What happened if I do like this? I put last name. What happened if I put name as the last name? What will be the output of this? Bauer. Bauer will be the output. Anand is saying Bauer. Any other answer? Okay, Nikhil is saying Bauer. So it is correct because since this looks like a variable name and variable name of name is the last name, so JavaScript will interpret this as like this, obj of last name, and it will give me the answer of Bauer. So this is how JavaScript interprets. Now tell me, if I object.name like this, I can access object.name like this, right? Object.name. So when I use this object.name, I'm getting Jack. Why I'm getting Jack? I created name as last name. Why still object.name is called getting me Jack? Can you answer? Can anyone answer me? I put name as last name, whereas object.name is giving me Bauer. Why object.name is still give me Jack? Is this right value? It should give me this one, right? Bauer. Yes or no? Why object.name is still giving me Jack? What we have not used? What we are not assigned? Object.name isn't looking at the variable, it's using the dot, so it's looking at the object. Yes, this is the correct answer. This object.name is not looking at the variable name. But when I use this object name, it is looking at the variable name. Yeah, this is absolutely correct. So when I use object and in the rectangular bracket, when I say rectangular bracket and pass name, it is looking for this variable name, and the variable name is the last name, so it is giving me the object of last name. But when I say object dot name, when I say dot name, that means it will see what is the in the object with the key name. So this object dot name will see what is in the object with the key of name, because dot name is kind of syntax of the object to access the name. But whereas when I put in the rectangular bracket, it will not take the name, this name. It will take the value of this variable and it will be looking like this. Whereas object.name This name is not the variable. This name is not the variable. This is the way to access the properties of the object. So when I say object.name, or when I say object.lastname, or when I say object.color, we are not accessing any variable here. We are trying to access the property of this object. So even if I put variable name last name, this will not be affected by this variable name. Only if I pass object name, only if I pass in the rectangular bracket, then only this will get affected and we get this value instead of the name. Because here we have the variable name. But in these three cases, this name, last name and color are not the variable name. These three are the way to access the properties of the object. Okay, hope it is clear. Otherwise, you can ask me again if you don't understand. Okay, let's create one more object. Var O equal to, I create this object. Now I will create few key value pair in this object. For example, I'll say something equal to 1, other thing equal to 2, and I want to put space in my key. For example, yes or no equal to yes, for example. So since here in this key, I want to put a space. If I put a space like this, then JavaScript will not understand this, because JavaScript does not need any space in the key. This is the keys. In the keys, we cannot put a space. The space is not good. It's not right. JavaScript will not understand this. So we have to put this yes or no inside single quote or double quote. Right now I'm putting single quote. I can put yes or no in the single quote. So whenever the key is kind of reserved word or something extra character, or we have the space, then JavaScript will not understand that. So we have to put single quote or double quote in the key and in the value, whatever value you want to put. One more example, I want to put like this, exclamation. So there are many letters here which are actually not allowed if I don't put single quote. So if I remove single quote, then JavaScript will give error, because this is not the valid key, because it has so many characters which are not allowed in JavaScript to mention in the key. Since it is not allowed, so I have to put it in the single or double quote, and I will put the value or something, for example 3. Now if I check O, I will see like this. So this is my O object. Now let's access these properties of each one. Can I access O dot something? Can I access it? Yes or no? Yes, because we know that dot is something we can use it. Can I use O dot other thing? Yes, we can access O dot other thing, because this is also the key. This is normal key. Can I access O dot yes or no? Like O dot yes or no. Can I access like this? No, 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 no. This I cannot access because this is not the valid key and this will give me error. So to access it, what I will do? What should I do? To access yes or no, what should I do? Okay, yeah, that is correct. I will put a rectangular bracket and here I will say yes or no. Then I will get the value of yes. Similarly, if I do like this, O dot this, will it work? No, this will not work. Why it will not work? Because this is the characters which JavaScript does not recognize as a key. But if I say O of exclamation like this, I will get the value. So sometimes when the keys are not normal or reserved word or not a normal naming convention, then we should put in the single quote or double quote while creating it, and while accessing it also we have to put in the rectangular bracket. Whereas the keys which are normal variable name, then we can access dot, and I can access with the dot. So that is the access method of the object. So generally, I hope this is clear, and if it is not clear, you can ask me anytime questions about it. So whenever I create an object, why we are using single quote or double quote is the difference. In JavaScript, you can create anything with single quote or double quote. Both are same. Okay, there's no difference. It is preference, your preference. You want to use single quote or you want to use double quote, that is up to you. So let's create an object. I put name as something X, for example. So here, when I create a property or element, this is called property in object, property. Whereas if I create array, this is only the naming convention. So this each element is called elements. So in array we call it as elements, whereas in object we call as a property. And if there are multiple, we say properties. And since the value is X, string or numeric or boolean, so we call it as property. But if the value is a function like this, so let's say I create a value, maybe I can say, and I create a function, because we can have value as a function also. So here I am creating a function as a value, and here I am saying, hey, something this console.log. So I created this function, so I will call this as a method. So this is the method of the object, this is the property of the object. So this is only the naming convention, but if you call element also, I will understand it. If you call property also for anything, I will understand. If you call method also, I will understand. But the more appropriate term will be, if we have some value without function, it is called property. And if we have some function, then it is called the method in the object. In object, we can create key, and value can be anything. It can be function, it can be object, it can be numeric, or it can be boolean, anything it can be. So we call it as method when it is a function. Okay, so this is the naming convention about this object. So when we go to the Java programming language, I don't know Java much about this one, what they call it as, though I have done Java kind of thing long back in 1999 or 2000 kind of thing. I did complete Java, but I am not sure of naming convention. But in most programming language, this object is called associative array. In PHP, for example, it is called associative array. This object is called associative array, and the array which we create is called indexed array. So in JavaScript, it is simple array. In JavaScript, this is object. So in PHP, they call that associative array if we have some object in it, and they call indexed array when we have this one. But in JavaScript, this is called array, this is called object. So just a naming convention. Whatever you use, the purpose is same. So that's it for today. Any questions?